As the calendar gets ready to flip from February to March, USC spring sports are starting to heat up.
Sports Scene is back to keep you in the know about all things Trojans athletics. Let's get it going.
Here from the newly named Julie Chen Leslie Moonves CBS Media Center in Studio C of the Annenberg School for Communication and Journalism.
Catch your breath, Ken. Lots of great stuff in this week's show, and we started off on the diamond. It's been 2 weeks since baseball season started, and USC's squad is still undefeated. That's right, the Trojans are 9-0 and off to their best start since 1988. USC pulled out an extra inning win last night over Fresno State, 3-2. And that capped off a strong weekend of action, sweeping the Oakland Golden Grizzlies by a combined 16 runs. Remember now that USC started 7-0 last season before falling on hard times in the middle part of the year, losing 6 of their next 7.
Jeremy, first thing, what has been the key to USC's early success?
Garrett Stubbs, the senior catcher, has had an extraordinary start to the year. He's leading the team with a .500 batting average. He's leading the team in stolen bases, and he's calling pretty much every game for every pitcher on the team. He's really inspirational. He's a senior, so he's a team leader. He's setting the pace. He's setting an example for USC's undefeated season. Talking
about setting the pace, the team is leading the NCAA in stolen bases. Where is this speed coming from?
We have no idea. USC already has 32 stolen bases. That's half of what they had all of last year, 64, and they've only played 9 games. Now the players are crediting the success to the introduction of volunteer assistant coach Chris Duffy, who came over from Major League Baseball this year. He's implementing a more aggressive running style, and it's getting the Trojans into a lot of advantageous situations on the bases.
And you mentioned last year they started 7-0, now they're 9-0. How do they avoid having that midseason fall like they did last year?
It's going to be really tough to avoid because so far their strength of schedule hasn't been, the toughest. Especially they're rolling into a 3-game set in a couple weeks at Dodger Stadium, the Dodger Town Classic, against Vandy, UCLA, and TCU, 3 big powerhouse teams all in the span of 3 days. It's going to be after that series that we'll figure out if USC is for real. The Trojans will host another 3-game series this weekend as they welcome the Fordham University Rams to sunny Southern California, all the way from the frigid Bronx.
USC Women's Lacrosse is back from a split on the East Coast and got their first taste of California competition on Tuesday. Sports Scene's Keely Ure has a recap of the game.
USC's Women's Lacrosse faced conference opponent Fresno State on Tuesday, dominating the Bulldogs 17-6. This is the 3rd consecutive year that the Women of Troy have won their conference opener.
We knew we had to come out really strong at this first game of the conference and open it really well, so it doesn't matter what the opponent is, whatever. We're really excited to get a big win.
Sophomore Michaela Michaels set an MPSF single-game record with 15 draw controls. Some players feel that this was the key to such a powerful win.
Definitely draw controls. I think Michaela won almost every single one, so that was awesome. If you have the ball, then you can win the game.
The Women of Troy are now 2-2 overall and 1-0 in conference play. But despite their dominant win, they still believe there's things to improve on.
We were a little careless at times with the ball. We had, I think, 13 turnovers, and certainly, that's not the standard we want to set for this program. So, I think in general, that's going to be a big focus for us in the next couple weeks.
The Women of Troy are off for 2 weeks before they face Liberty University on March 9th. Keely Ure, Sports Scene.
And as you heard from Keely, the Women of Troy are now undefeated in conference play and are predicted to finish 3rd in the final MPSF standings.
Ken, what's been the main reason for the lacrosse team's 2-2 start?
Well, their first 2 losses were against ranked opponents. Now this schedule has gotten a little bit easier. They've been able to play teams that aren't ranked, and that has given them some chances to get some wins. But they also are fast starters. They're outscoring opponents 27-12 in the first half, but are getting outscored in the second half. That's something they need to fix.
Tell me about the emergence of Gussie Johns in net.
Yeah, only a freshman. She was ranked 6th in the lacrosse prospects coming out of high school. She's just getting comfortable, and really to step in and play 2 ranked opponents her first 2 games of college, that was great. Now she's just getting more comfortable in net.
What's going to be the importance of the next 4 games that the team has at home?
Well, they only have 6 seniors, so they're young, and being at home lets you get comfortable. And as they're getting more along in the season, they'll face tougher opponents, and being at home at this early part of the season will give them some comfort. and the Trojans have a week off before continuing their 5-game homestand when they host Liberty University on March 9th.
USC will look to rebound after another disappointing weekend on the road, hosting Washington State here on Wednesday. The Trojans were blown out by Arizona and lost narrowly to Arizona State, but are looking to win against teams just ahead of them in the standings.
We're just playing hard. We're playing hard, rebounding the ball. We're just gutting out certain plays that we wouldn't have gutted out in the beginning of the year. But now we just got to put the ball in the basket and at the end in the last few minutes of the game to win the games.
The Trojans play their last home game on Saturday against Washington. In any other year, the Trojans would honor the seniors on the team. But oddly enough, there are no seniors on the 2015 Trojan squad. 0. Let's toss it over to Jody Sullivan for more on that.
Just wanted to say thank you. I had a really good time last year going to one of the games. I got to participate in the halftime show, so thank you guys for giving me such a great experience.
Thanks for the season. Fight on, guys.
Thank you so much for a great season of basketball.
Fight on!
I want to say thank you for the 4 years of being at USC and representing the Trojan family to the best that you could. Thank you.
Thanks for the team for their huge effort. Fight on!
So I just want to say thank you to all the seniors. It's been a great couple of years. Really fun, intense games over at the Galen Center. And I just want to say thank you guys and good luck after college. Thank you.
Thank you, seniors.
Touching stuff. The Trojans have 3 juniors on the squad who will surely be honored next year. Now let's toss it over to Reed Silverman for all the latest in USC sports all around campus.
Thanks, Jeremy. It's about that time again. It's time to light the torch. The women's basketball team is wrapping up the regular season this weekend as they head up to Washington. The women of Troy are 15-12 overall and tied for 6th in the Pac-12 with a record of 7-9. They hope to get a boost in their seeding as they take on Washington on Thursday and wrap up against Washington State on Saturday. The men's tennis team is prepping for a couple of weekend matches. The #1 men's tennis team takes on Stanford on Friday in its first televised match on the Pac-12 networks. The team is coming off a loss to #2 Oklahoma in last weekend's ITA National Team Indoor Championships, but they're using that loss as a motivation.
If anything, it's just a learning experience. It kind of helps us, and I think it's good. It gives us some adversity, and I think it brings us together a little bit more. Stanford's a good team. It'll be a lot of fun to get back out there after that last loss.
The Trojans take on Stanford on Friday and Tulsa on Saturday. Women's swimming is off to Washington to compete in the Pac-12 Conference Championships in Washington from Wednesday to Saturday. The team is confident that they can have a strong showing at that championship.
Coming off from a win from UCLA is awesome because we have a lot of momentum going into Pac-12s, and I think we're not really focusing on other teams at this point. I think it's just focusing on ourselves and what we can do.
USC's men's golf dominated the competition at the Jones Invitational, finishing as the only team under par. Freshman Sean Crocker shot a final round 66 to earn a share of the individual title, and USC women's golf finished second at the UCI Invitational, while Gabrielle Venn lost the overall title in a 5-hole playoff.
I was playing for myself out there, and as well, I'm together with the team, so I felt like I did a really good job out there.
Well, that's all from Lighting the Torch. Let's toss it over to Beverly Pham with a look at some of the best performances in USC athletics.
Thanks, Reed. In honor of this past weekend's 87th Annual Academy Awards, I'd like to welcome you to Sports Scene's very own Academy Awards. Today, we honor USC's best and mightiest of the week. The first award for Best Costume Design, or Best Uniform, goes to the USC Women's Basketball team. The team sported pink jerseys, shorts, and gear as part of their initiative to raise awareness and money for breast cancer research. Fight on, women of Troy. Our winner for Best Sound takes us to the past week's NFL Scouting Combine. Defensive lineman Leonard Williams takes home this award with the quote, "I'm shooting for the #1 spot, but if I drop to the Raiders, I'd be okay with that." And the winner for Best Director or Coach goes to men's golf coach Chris Zambri. The men's team just took home its 3rd title of the season on Tuesday at the Jones Invitational. Zambri is in his 9th year as head coach and took the team to the NCAA Championships final in his first 8 years. And the moment we've all been waiting for, the Sports Scene Academy Award for Best Motion Picture, aka Best Team of the Week, goes to the undefeated USC Baseball team. They are currently 9-0 and the only undefeated team left in the Pac-12. Well, congratulations to all of our winners. Let's toss it back over to Ken.
Thanks, Beverly, and I happily accept the USC Oscar for Best Actor. Thank you, thank you. Well, not everyone is a scholarship athlete at USC, but some of the fiercest competitions happen at the Lions Center. Sports Scene correspondent Connor McGlynn shows us the intramural game of the week.
In this edition of I Am Game of the Week, we're spotlighting a matchup out of the Fraternity Basketball League with a big showdown between AE Pi and contenders AGO. The game started with a back-and-forth struggle with both teams fighting for the advantage. Daniel Osaki led AGO early by creating open jumpers and capitalizing on a series of second-chance points. But using the 3-ball as the weapon of choice, AE Pi pulled ahead by double digits going into the break.
You know, we got in the gym early today. We got some shots up. And in the zone, they're playing a zone against us. We were swinging the ball, getting an open look, and we were hitting our shots today.
And AE Pi continued to hit their shots into the second half. Adding circus shots like this to their arsenal, AE Pi was able to fend off a strong AGO surge. Ross led all scorers with 19 points in the win. I'm alongside Jeremy Urin, and you guys really dominated that second half. You had 5 players in double digits. What was the key to spreading the wealth?
I mean, that's our foundation right there. That's our program that we live by. We want to get everyone involved. We make sure that everyone gets their touches, and we are confident that everyone has the ability to score on their own.
For Sports Scene, I'm Connor McGlynn.
That team was all about the tray ball. And if your team is interested in being profiled on Sports Scene, be sure to tweet us at ATVN Sports or neon_sports.
Ever wonder what it's like to play for your dad? After we caught up with Tanner Smith, our interview was hijacked by Peter Smith, Tanner's father and head coach. Take a look.
Is he a bigger at home or at the office?
Probably bigger at home.
I've heard that. Can you say any good qualities about him?
I mean, he's nice sometimes.
Ah, what a moment. Those two are quite a racket. Thank you, Ken.
To end our show, we'd like to show you some baseball highlights of a different kind. Thanks to our reporter, Ben Albert, we got some great shots of our Sports Scene staff at the weekend's games. Sports Scene host Evan Budrovich, contributor Max Meyer, and our very own Jeremy Bergman are making us question, are you working hard or hardly working? Looks like a lot of fun, and thanks for the invite.
I tried calling you. You didn't respond to my calls.
Whatever.
Not my fault. That's it for Sports Scene. I'm Jeremy. I'm small. He's tall.
And we had a ball on Sports Scene today. We'll see you next week.